Welcome to this podcast, Holistic Creators, where we share our unique and universal stories about shaping the future for the 4 Ps: people, planet, purpose, and profit. My name is Swanette. I'm a mental coach and your host of this show. My intention for this show is to inspire you on your path to a holistic future. So welcome. Welcome to my podcast, Holistic Creators. My name is Swanette and I'm your host. Today, my guest is Lisa Carmichael. She is an entrepreneur and marketing professional who lives in Minnesota. She is a military spouse and the mother of 3 adult children whose transition into adulthood and the step into an empty nest was part of this journey. After becoming a public author, she started EPIK Mastermind for entrepreneurs are ready to move into their business forward to next levels. Lisa's marketing business has a focus on developing strong relationships, and her clients are entrepreneurs who want to start out from the competitors and manage their reputations and legacy. So welcome to my podcast.
Thanks, Swanette. I'm so grateful to be here. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing fine as I'm in Madeira Island, and we have a connection with a lot of kilometers in between. I'm in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and so it's amazing that we can share your story here on my podcast, even though you're thousands of kilometers away from me.
Yeah. So I have to apologize for popping on late this morning, but I just came out of a cold water dip. So when you said Atlantic, that is, I live in Minnesota, a land of 10,000 lakes. So we, every once in a while, I go and do a little cold water dip, and it was a little slushy this morning. So it was like 30 degrees. And so I probably am not looking my best, but my mind is like really focused from now that I've warmed up.
Wow. So 30 degrees Fahrenheit, I think 30 degrees Celsius would be like a warm bathtub. And
yeah. No, not a warm bathtub. It was literally slushy. So when we were walking in the water, ice was slushy. And my body was like moving the ice forward, the slush forward. It was cool. Today was really a nice morning. Have you heard of this before? The whole cold water dip?
No, I'm really into warm water. This is why I'm here in a subtropical island, to have the ocean warm and the weather warm, and not snow and ice is not really the best temperature for my body. But I can imagine that you really have to focus on breathing and relaxing and going into this cold water.
Yeah, it really is amazing. It's mind over matter. It's definitely a holistic way of healing. I mean, there are people that are going for ADHD. There are people that go for memory. I've noticed my girlfriend that her skin has improved. And I mean, there's so many benefits to it that I can't even, we were talking as a group, there was an RN in the group, and she's like, it's interesting. We haven't had anybody have anything negative happen to them at all. So many great benefits to it. And, we're just a bunch of weirdos that just jump in the ice water once in a while. Actually, there are people that will go in every day, and some will go in twice a day.
Yeah, so having experiences like that are absolutely amazing. And I think we grow with the experience we allow in our lives. And so Can you tell us a little bit about your story? So I'm curious now, what has happened to you for your own transformation? Let us know a little bit about that.
Okay. So I worked corporately until my third child was born, and that was my ticket to staying home. So I became a stay-at-home mom, and of course I couldn't stop working. I became an entrepreneur, and I hit my head against the wall several times trying to figure out how to be successful. And I believe that all the obstacles have made me who I am and have given me the strength of that my business has as I'm moving forward. So yes, I do have a marketing business, and my pivot point was when I became a published author. I was in an entrepreneur group. I was invited to participate in this group. It was a application process, and it was actually through the military. And being that I'm a spouse of a veteran, I was accepted into the program along with my application. And oh, Swanette, I would go to these meetings and I'd do the comparison thing. I'd sit in the room, and these amazing entrepreneurs were changing the world. They were traveling around the world. And I would, like, on breaks, I would go in the ladies' room and do breathing exercises, and I would do self-talk, like, I'm okay, everything's going to be okay, there's a reason for this, I don't understand, I don't need to understand. And then I'd go back in. And after my self-talk, I would be like, there is a reason for me to be here, and I'm going to give value, I'm going to share, and this is going to be my pivot point. And I viewed it as just such a gift, that I was given a gift, and this was the gift that I had to take it and just run with it. And so 3 things came from that experience. One was I did become a published author. The second was I held my first webinar. And then the third piece was, if this mastermind group worked for me and these amazing things happened to me, I just felt if this worked for the military, this should work for anyone that's building a business, that's stuck and struggling, and needs the accountability and needs to be around other entrepreneurs to move themselves forward. And so that's basically how it all started.
Yeah, I totally hear you, especially this idea you're sitting next to so many amazing people, and normally we have this kind of self-talk, always making us smaller than we really are. Mm-hmm. And of course, then we can't shine if we tell ourselves that we are not worthy, or that we will never make it, or whatever we have as our beliefs. Looking mm-hmm. at the others and bringing them on a higher level because of that as well. Perhaps they feel the same and think about you. Wow, what are you amazing person? And I think this is really important, even before becoming an entrepreneur, having clarity about what is your self-talk? What are you telling yourself every day, consciously or even unconsciously? And seeing what is the improvement that you can do. So one step out of your situation to the next, and not comparing to the other ones. I think this is,
Yes, because we're all unique. We all have value to share. And that doubt is always there if we don't actually reprogram our thinking. And that was the beginning of my book. My book is about affirmations and making time for myself. I had no problem making time for anybody else, everybody else. Someone would ask me, they would need help. I'm more than willing to help and drop everything that I can to help the next person, but I did not make time for myself. And at that time, I was journaling. I was writing these daily affirmations because I had heard about positive self-talk, and I just couldn't figure out why there were so many other successful people, and I was still stuck and struggling. And it really was, like you said, it was that self-talk that when I was telling myself I wasn't good enough and I was comparing to these other people, that's what I attracted. That's what people saw, because that's what I saw in myself. And my daily journaling, I transcribed it. The journaling was positive affirmations so that I could reprogram my thinking. And then I turned it into a book.
Yeah, so this is also like a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think about all the negative things about you, you will attract or this kind of life. And if you think about positive things about yourself, then you will kind of attract synchronicities that help you to do the next steps. So,
makes sense.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit more about these kind of affirmations? So what are these sentences, or how to use these positive affirmation? Can you go a little bit deeper into that topic?
Yeah, so my book is broken into 7 principles, and it's all about trusting yourself, allowing good things to come, being open to receiving everything that is waiting for you. So instead of thinking, oh, something bad's going to happen, it's more of, I expect something good to come to me, and being open to all the good that's waiting for me. And it's really just a twist on our thoughts, that instead of waiting for the bad, it's always looking forward for the good. And so the 7 pillars work with discipline. And I know discipline's a scary word, but I really dig deep into that word discipline, because it's almost like a masculine energy that protects us. And that when we set boundaries, they're good. And man, I used to fight boundaries. I would do anything to scoot under or get by. And boundaries are meant to help us and make us better at what we do, better in our business, better in our lives. And just, again, being open to receiving all the good and that power of attraction, and allowing the good things to come to you instead of always expecting the worst.
I think also a feminine thing, that we are totally willing to give, to help. Yes, we're totally comfortable if we can do that, but then being there and opening ourselves up for receiving. I think this is also a kind of a learning we have to do right now as women, don't you think?
Definitely, definitely. We have to embrace who we are. And when we start getting comfortable with our own skin, so even like just going back to the water this morning, the first time I did this cold water dip, so I don't know what this is in Celsius, but the first time it was 12 below zero. It was very, very cold. They literally had to remove the ice so that we could go in this little square of water. And that first time, I panicked. I was like breathing through my mouth. I do Pilates, so they tell me to breathe through my mouth. And I was in this cold water, and they're like, breathe through your nose, relax, relax. And then all of a sudden, it was like, I finally caught on that I finally got out of my head. And I think that's what happens with business, is that we're so stuck in our head. We want everything yesterday. We expect success immediately. And maybe I just thought jumping in the water or going down the ladder into the water, I didn't do a cannonball, that I just expected everything to be okay. And, I'm going in, that this was, it was going to be okay. I didn't expect that this was going to be really, really cold. And interestingly enough, someone was like, oh, so you're finally here. And it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing where I really wasn't there mentally. Physically, I was with them. But until I showed up and got out of my head and reconnected with my body, that's when I was fully present. And that's when I could have a better mindset of where I was. So again, I really feel like, you know, people that are building a business, if they don't spend time in mindset and breathing and doing exercises, meditating, reading good books, you will stay in your head.
Yeah, and what you see is that being really in the present moment with the mind, with all the feelings, and with the body. Normally we are either in the past thinking about what didn't work, what could have we done better or in a different way. Of course, it is good to have the learnings, no question, but being they are like always expecting the future to be kind of the next steps of the past. I think this is also important to understand. We are creating in the present time. We need to be really present to get also like the intuitive information to create a different future.
Mm-hmm. So true, so true.
So these exercises, I think, are very helpful to really, what you said, be present, be connected to your body, being there with all your conscious and subconscious mind, that you are focused. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, at that point, it was like, it didn't matter what we were wearing. We were all wearing our swimsuits. You know, it's 12 below zero outside, and we were there supporting each other. And I could never have done it by myself. And that's why I think, you know, like podcasts and, you know, anything to bring people together, masterminds, because it allows you to think differently. Because sometimes we just feel like we're just bumping our head against the wall and we can't figure it out. But actually everything is figure outable. It's just a matter of, okay, what am I willing to try? So yeah, and the support is such a big piece of everything that we do, and surrounding ourselves with like-minded people, staying out of the muck and mire.
I think also it comes, like you said, no, having clarity about the mindset. What are the beliefs you do have, but also surrounding yourself with like-minded people. This means that you have to have clarity about the values. You have to have clarity about what you really want to create for the future. So how can these tribes or like-minded people help entrepreneurs for their own business, for example?
You know, I think there's so much truth to surrounding yourself with people, well, like-minded people. I think it's John Maxwell that said you're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So, you know, for me, what's helped me is I've been very aware of who I surround myself with and who I want to spend time with. For me, spending time with my family is just hugely important. I want to be around people who support me. And, you know, there are negative people out there, but, you know, and when those people show up, somehow you just have to find a way to show compassion and understanding and realize that they're just not at your level, that they may have something to learn from you. And unfortunately, with the negativity, they're probably stuck on something. So yeah, again, I think it's just a matter of just surrounding yourself with people that get it, being around, you know, and not staying, so that you don't stay stuck.
Mm-hmm. So how can I find kind of like-minded people when I start my business as an entrepreneur? And some of our people that are now listening have a vision for their life, but they have no clue how they can start being an entrepreneur. They just have this feeling, oh, I need to bring out something into the world. I have special gifts. How can they find support? And also, like you said, no, being surrounded by people that are supportive, that have positive energy. What is your idea about that?
So what I've created is a mastermind, and that's my solution. It may work. It definitely can work for anyone that's stuck and struggling, whether you're seasoned or you're just getting started on your entrepreneur journey. And my program is, again, about accountability. So if you're struggling with, I just can't make progress in my business, find an accountability partner, find someone that can hold you accountable. And so my mastermind is a group of 10. It's an intimate group, so it's very different from any other masterminds that are out there. And what sets me apart, or sets this group apart, is it's the check-in. So at the end of the hour, we meet once a week, 1 hour virtually, and we share anybody can use this concept. You just share, what are you willing to accomplish for the next week? So it's an I will statement. What will I do for the coming week? And then the following week, we do a check-in as to what we accomplished on that I will statement. And with that, there's no judgment. It's more of, what worked, what didn't work, what we can do differently. And so this mastermind concept is working really well for people that have been struggling. So I ran two groups last year. We had 2 groups of 10, and a mastermind is when you bring brains together to create a new brain, a new way of thinking. And it's just so powerful. And the neat thing about it is that some of these people liked it so much, they rolled into the next group. So I had 2 that rolled into the second group, and now 2 that have rolled into the group that I'm starting this year. So, there's so many moving pieces when it comes to being an entrepreneur, that to answer your question, what should a person do? There's so many things. And when you're asking that question, almost sounds like an entrepreneur might be in overwhelm. And so just moving out of overwhelm into action it's all about baby steps. It's all about starting somewhere. That's the encouragement I would give.
I totally see that. People often are in overwhelm when they start becoming an entrepreneur. And it is not only that they have to understand about their own topic, but they have to learn about business, about accounting, about tax, about marketing, whatever. And so it's very easy to see there's so much to do. I have to create my funnel and my course and my whatever, that you're not even start, because it's like when I see all the tasks that are now in front of me, it's where can I start? It's overwhelming. So also what you said, having baby steps, like you can't make it all in one day. So even Rome has not been built up in one day, so it takes time. And becoming an entrepreneur is a process, and it is a learning process, but it's also a personal development process, because what I see that when people are in corporate world and they work under another brand, they can kind of cover their own personality. But as soon as they become an entrepreneur, they are in the light. They are the ones that need to be there. Like the brand is connected to their own personality, I think.
Definitely.
I see a difference in that, being an employee or then being an entrepreneur, and you are the brand or the products you create, but also with that, you are the brand.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, and the other piece is, as an entrepreneur, we always have to be looking forward. So part of the program that I'm rolling out right now is a mini group, a mastermind mini group. And there are 5 pieces with that. And the 4th module in it is marketing, but not only marketing in 2022, but looking ahead and marketing in 2023. I mean, things are changing all the time, from, TikTok and Instagram Reels. I mean, there's a lot of things out there to distract us from what we're doing to help other people. And so you're right. There's definitely a difference, but there is a way to be successful. There is a way, and that comes with creating your strategy. And if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a blueprint, you will stay overwhelmed. You will stay stuck and struggling, and you might want to just maybe work that corporate job and let someone tell you what to do.
So what is different from the marketing in 2022 and 2023 that you perhaps can already see?
If I had a crystal ball, I feel like, there's so many things. I mean, there's cryptology, cryptocurrency out there right now, the NFTs, it's the virtual world. It's there. We will see change, and maybe that's the mindset that an entrepreneur has to have, is that there will always be change, and there will always be change. Things will not stay the same, and we have to embrace that and be okay with change, and know that change is always going to make us better. So yeah, no crystal ball, but I do know that in order to scale your business, in order to monetize, you have to be open to change.
Yeah, and if we look back into the years, in former times it was totally normal to have leaflets and ads in magazines and this kind of stuff. And then with the internet, of course, now you have, for example, Facebook ads, or you have your landing pages, and so this changed. And now what you said now, the digital life, so to say, like what happening now with the creation, you can find that it is good or bad, but it will happen. So with Meta, for example, there will be this artificial life, and you can pay and buy things in this artificial life, and use therefore also like product placement in a totally virtual environment. So I'm paying with NFTs, what you said. So I think these are already signs that are clear that this will come. Or it is already in creation, not even it will come, it is already there.
Yeah. Yeah. We just need to embrace it. And again, it's something that, we won't understand overnight, but it's just taking those steps, taking those baby steps, being educated about that things like this are coming our way, and not be surprised, and not putting people down either that don't want to be on this journey with us. It's okay if you don't want to move forward. That's okay.
I think there are also people that still love this old way. So for me, sometimes, you said you are an author. I totally love having a book in my hand. I really like to have paper. Yeah. But of course, it is sometimes, if I travel, more comfortable to just have the ebook on my device, so that I don't have to carry this whole amount of paper with me. So I think we perhaps we can have both. We have still this old way of yeah, liking certain kind of advertising or marketing, but also be in this new world and experiencing this. And I think for everything there will be a clientele as well.
Right, right. And I think, with this epidemic, everything really changed. That brick and mortar had to understand online and had to embrace online, or they would have stayed stuck. And now the beauty is that the two actually can work together. It's just finding everything, like I said, everything is figure outable. It's just finding a way to make it work. So there may have been a lot of bad things that happened with COVID, but there actually were a lot of good things that we now see in our economy, and that there's so many things that we can prepare for so that we're prepared for the next, whatever is next to come.
Yeah, this as well, that during this time, because we have the internet and we are now, as we speak, connected digitally, that a lot of services were created, like the online courses, the mastermind, and things where people can meet, and perhaps they would never have met normally because we were so used to meet in person. On the other hand, I see that there is a very massive longing coming for meeting again in person. So, no,
yeah.
me myself, no, I'm doing my coachings online, but I totally love also having people here coming to Madeira for the retreats. So
right, yeah.
There's both possible, and sometimes it's good, like connecting. Like we over the ocean and sharing information, and people can come to your master mind wherever they are. So there's no need to come into the snow or come into the ice.
So you're not going to do a cold water dip with me? No. Yeah, my first mastermind, I had 3 people from Canada and I had 1 person from the UK. So yeah, my mastermind is an international group. And right now I still have openings for the first group in 2022. Wow, I can't believe we're in second quarter. But yeah, it's, and my program is very affordable. And that's kind of a key piece right now, because there are so many programs out there that are really, really, really expensive. And the value that I give is amazing. I mean, I have been running my digital marketing business since 2017, so 5 years. So I have bumped my head quite a few times, and I am more than open. I'm transparent and vulnerable with everything that I've gone through to be where I'm at right now. And I wouldn't be where I'm at if I wouldn't have made all those mistakes, if I wouldn't have taken the long road. So I'm here to support entrepreneurs so that they don't have to make the mistakes that I did, so that their journey is just a little bit shorter than mine.
Okay, yeah. This is always, of course, the possibility, you know, if you have someone who already walked the talk and has their own experience, there's no need to make all the mistakes by yourself. So can you share perhaps 1 or 2 mistakes that you stepped in, that you said, okay, if I would have had support before this, there was no need that this happens, but of course now helps you that other people will not do the same.
Yeah, so first off, I will say that there are no mistakes. There are always learning opportunities, and everything that I've done has happened for a reason. Have I made any mistakes? I've made tons of mistakes. What can I think? You know, I think the biggest thing is just not believing in myself and thinking I could figure it out all on my own, and just being so narrow-minded that I was running some Facebook ads, and I just kept running them, and I kept putting money into them, and I thought that that was the solution. And until I reached out and asked, and this was, I gave up. I was like, and that was a mistake. I gave up. I should have never given up. I should have just kept moving forward with it and tried figuring it out. But instead, I got distracted by a shiny object and went down a different road. But I really feel that I just was pumping money into a Facebook ad, and I thought that that was going to be the answer. So lesson learned is I don't know everything, and I did need to ask questions, and I stopped asking questions. I gave up. When I gave up, I stopped asking questions. The two are like synonymous. I don't know, light bulb moment for me right there. And let's see, you wanted 2 examples. Everything's a learning. Well, I'll say, I know. So my son, my oldest is on the autism spectrum. And not that this was a mistake or anything, but the one thing that I learned was that reaching out to other people and asking for help, and someone shared with me that I had to be his #1 advocate. And I know right now that he wouldn't be as high functioning as he is. He's getting ready to start his 4th season in guest services for the Minnesota Twins, so the baseball organization. And I know that just like being his #1 advocate in my business, I have to be my own #1 advocate. I'm the one that has to put my face out there and be okay with being in my swimsuit, jumping in cold water, being around like-minded people that might be smarter, that might be more successful than me, but knowing that, you know what, I'm good enough because I'm me. I have a lot to offer. And if I don't advocate for myself, no one else will. Just like no one else would advocate for my guy, my son.
Yeah, I think so. On the one hand, you said asking someone, asking questions, and then the next shiny object appeared. I think this is definitely a trap for entrepreneurs, that there will always be the next shiny object. So let's start with perhaps Facebook ads, or do a challenge, or create an own podcast, or the landing pages, a funnel. So there are so many things you can do for your own marketing, and you TikTok, or I don't know, there are so many different social media. If you look into that, you can't do everything, but you have to figure out what feels comfortable for you, and then go for that. And if you have problems, ask the expert. There are so many experts out that are willing to help you. For me, for example, I feel totally comfortable to speak. I like to be on stage. I like to do interviews. This is good for me. But as soon as you tell me you have to write a blog for the website, it's like procrastination.
You know what? I found a solution that has worked for me. I joined a blogging group, and we have the support of each other that we can share our blogs with and talk about what we're working on. And wow, that was just like another switch. It was like, I didn't realize it could be that easy. In that group, I think the one morning I got up and I pumped out three blogs because I was like, I was so motivated, and I was like, I was surrounded by the right people. And I think we look for those shiny objects because being an entrepreneur is lonely. It is a very lonely journey. And if we don't seek out groups like that, mentorships, masterminds, it will continue to be lonely. And we don't feel like, you know, what I have to blog won't be good enough, or what I have to say on a podcast won't be good enough. But it is. We do have awesome value to share.
Yeah, and there we come back to this being the advocate for yourself. So there will always, if you become visible as an entrepreneur, there will always be people that don't like your content, that don't like your product, and others that think this is amazing what you do. So there will always be very different opinions about what you bring out, and it is important that you yourself feel good with that, that you feel that this is exactly what you want to bring out into the world, that you are here for bringing this out in your way. Even someone else has spoken about that as well, but you are the only person that has perhaps the own experiences that will kind of support what you're bringing out. So yeah, being your own advocate and yeah, speaking good about what you're doing is so important. Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. When, you know, and also just when you're looking for the people, you want to find someone who's been where you want to be. You know, just because you have to have that trust factor, so that you can trust that person really knows what they're talking about. So, you know, there will always be, because the internet opened up how many billions of people that, you know, so there will always be another person's idea. And when you can grasp onto that, like, you know what, there will always be another person's idea. That's when when you embrace your own idea, you get to be that other person's idea. You get to be the shiny object for other people. So, and the other thing too, Swanette, is, you know, don't try doing everything yourself. Delegating is such a big piece of being an entrepreneur, and letting people help you out. You know, being open to receiving, but also there are services out there that can help you move forward. So you don't have to be stuck on the little things that you know how to do, but you can teach somebody else to do, and they can do it for you.
Yeah, I think it's very important that you understand what are you good in and what do you like to do, and then delegate the rest. Yeah, so I like to create. This is what I love to do. I like to inspire people. But as soon as you tell me I have to file invoices for tax and accounting, it is like, I can collect them, and then perhaps someone else likes to do this kind of stuff. It's not mine. I don't like to fill out Excel sheets. And yeah, but other people are totally happy doing that. So please give them the chance to be happy with that.
Yeah, good. Well said. Yeah. And right now it's all about collaborating, you know, working with other people, because when you help them, and they help you, it's a collaboration, it's a partnership. And that's when that competition piece just kind of disappears. It dissolves.
Yeah, and you have to understand what is your genius zone. Where are you really good in? No, what is it that you feel passionate about, and what is that, you know, when you are in flow or don't even feel that time is passing by. And so this is the state you have to be in, and from there you have to create. Yeah.
Definitely. It's all a process.
Yeah, so getting a little bit more information about who are your clients. So whom are you attracting for your own work?
Right now I am really looking for female entrepreneurs, womenpreneurs who are stuck and struggling. And again, if you have a new business or if you're seasoned, I've had both types of entrepreneurs in my masterminds. And what we have is a tribe for group accountability. And so I'm looking for maybe mompreneurs, published authors, influencers, Instagram influencers, lifestyle influencers. And if you're trying to see if you would fit in with my group, you can certainly follow me on Instagram. I live my life on Instagram. I'm not paying for people to follow me. People just, my gratitude is in Instagram right now. Every day, I try to post every day something that I'm grateful for. And it's just something to raise my vibration. So if you really want to know the real me, follow me on Instagram. And if you are an entrepreneur and you're struggling and you're trying to start a new business, check out my website. My website is my name, Lisa R. Carmichael. And then on my website.com, on my website, I have a free download of a document that have 7 secrets to help you with your business. And so I've been studying digital marketing for the last 5 years. These digital marketing secrets will help anybody in their business, whether you're selling jewelry or you are selling a fitness program. It can be anything, because these are the skills that I've learned to push myself forward, and I know they will help any entrepreneur.
Wow, thank you so much for this gift as well. I will put the links in the show notes, so that it is easy for the audience to find you on Instagram, your website, and also the free gift you have to share with the
Yep, definitely. And if you want to be on my email list, I do email marketing. I have a daily email that I send out to motivate you, so you don't have to feel stuck and struggling and alone. And it just all ties together. It's like an ecosystem. Easiest way is just to find me on my website, and then you can follow me on Instagram if you're into social media.
Yeah, wonderful. Last but not least, you said that you use affirmation for yourself. That is something that is bringing you into a high vibration and focusing on your own genius. Can you share your affirmation with us?
Sure. This one's a really vulnerable one. So sometimes you do need to associate yourself with other people. And as an entrepreneur, sometimes you have to feel like a movie star, or pick like a movie star that really resonates with you. And so instead of picking a particular person, I chose more of a title. So one of the daily affirmations that I write every morning and every night, and this is specifically for women, is that the affirmation starts with, my purpose is love. I am a goddess. I surrender to staying connected to my loving heart. I am a queen. I am worthy of leadership energy. I am a princess. My vulnerability and transparency are my strength and shield. I am a maiden. My tone shows kindness and compassion. I am a high priestess. I am worthy and vulnerable. I'm sorry. I lost my writing. Usually I write this. I don't say it out loud. I got to get my paper. You got to hold on, because I'm not going to let you down. And I write it in blue ink too. Yes, I'm a high priestess. I am grateful and grounded in these core values and beliefs. I surrender I trust, I will be okay, everything will be okay, better than okay. So that's that and a whole lot more that I write every morning and every night. And it's just a matter of reprogramming to say kind things to myself instead of journaling like, why did this go wrong? Why did I do that again? I made another mistake. You know, those thoughts do have a purpose, and those thoughts, it's important to dig deep into why you're telling yourself those thoughts and speaking to yourself that way. But really, they serve no purpose. What serves you is the positive things that you speak to yourself. Those vibrations.
Absolutely.
Did you like it? A little much.
This was so powerful. And I really ask everybody to write down their own affirmation and using it to bring up the vibration inside of their body, and then, of course, attracting their life that they really want to live. So thank you so much for sharing everything about your own journey, about what you're doing, and also showing up so vulnerable and telling us your affirmation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I got a little flustered there, but I came through. Thank you so much, Swanette. Thanks for the kind conversation and all the nice words today.
Hope to see you soon.
Pleasure. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening or watching my podcast, Holistic Creators. If you want to know more about how I can help and support you, have a look at my website, spiritualchangemaker.com. You can also join my Facebook group, Spiritual Changemakers Community. Stay tuned for the next episode by subscribing to this channel. And you also can check the previous episodes.